Hey guys, welcome back to Exit Corners. So here's what happened last time. So last time we found out that Beth didn't actually die, but that brings up the question of how did Beth escape the garden that was full of nitrous oxide? Like they couldn't really move well, but like how was she able to escape? That was one question. And yeah, we also found out some of Liza's hobbies and that she knows someone who has a disability. And also Sen confirmed that it's not a man nor a woman, so we don't know if it's actually human, if it's a computer program, like an AI of some sort. We don't really know. And yeah, so they got the key card from the green room, and then that unlocked the red room, and then the rooms in the red room are like inverted from like the green room. So that's interesting too. Right, and we found out a lot about Ray. So we found out who his contact was. It's his ex-girlfriend, Tiana, who actually stole his code called the RN algorithm, Ray-Nandan, or the refractive node algorithm. And apparently its function is to like search through something really fast and find like a specific term really quickly. And one thing that they found out was that like some screens only turn on when Ray interacts with it. So like it's personalized to him. Yeah, he's also really mysterious. This like these couple past episodes, like he asked a question to Sen. We don't really know what question it was, but Sen wouldn't answer him, and he snatches Gemini. So Beth and Ray don't have their Geminis anymore. And also, we got a time limit of 12.5 hours left. So 2 hours have gone by since we last checked. And also, we confirmed that Ether is in fact claustrophobic. This explains why she didn't want to go into the elevators earlier. And yeah, some of her hobbies. And yeah, she was about to say something that starts with "I know," but like she never got to finish it, so we don't really know what that was about either. And yeah, like the last twist ending was like, oh, before that, like Sean mentioned that someone was following him, so Ink went around and told everyone else to like let their contact know that um people are like following their contacts apparently. Yeah, apparently Ink's name isn't actually Ink, it's actually Kim, which is interesting, I guess. Like I don't really know why he was hiding it, but I guess we'll find out soon. All right, let's start. We're on chapter 16. Name and number. All right, we're gonna get into what Ink or Kim has to say for himself. Skip. Isn't Kim a girl's name? Gender neutral, technically. It just happens to be much more popular for girls. I see. Thank you for telling us, Kim. I appreciate the honesty. Don't mention it. Now, if you do me the kindness of continuing to call me Ink, that'd be great. Why? Everyone knows your real name now. Sim probably knew it from the beginning. There's no longer a need to hide behind it. Ink is my real name. I don't follow. Is your name Ink or is it Kim? My name was Kim. I changed it a few years back and now it's Ink. You changed your name? How? There's a process. It was a huge pain in the ass, to tell you the truth. Moving on. Why'd you change your name? I didn't like the old one and I wanted a fresh start. Can we just leave it at that? You can't simply discard your name just because you aren't fond of it. Your parents blessed you with that name. Yeah, well, I'm not especially fond of them either. Listen, can we just drop this? This isn't exactly something I'm itching to talk about right now. Oh, Ink. There's power in the name, you know. What a shame you threw yours away. Why do you even care? This has nothing to do with you. I just can't understand why you do such a thing. Your poor parents. And you've never changed your name, Beth? When you married your husband, you kept your last name, right? That is completely different. I adopted my husband's name out of love for him. You threw your you threw away yours out of what? Spite? I'm proud to carry the last name March. It's a name with history, with meaning. Can you really say the same in regards to your name? You named yourself after coloring fluid. But it's so edgy. Shut up, Liza. Everyone wants to be someone else. You would too, given the chance. I wouldn't dream of it. I'm a thatcher, after all. My name is actually worth something. Okay, we have a last name for Liza. Thatcher? Ray, who had been quietly fiddling with the monitor, quickly cut back into their conversation. Your name is Lisa Thatcher? That's right. The only child and heiress to Thatcher Biometrics Limited. God damn it, you're Nolan Thatcher's daughter. The one and only. You've heard of him, I take it? Why didn't you mention this sooner? This shit's important. You know her father? I'm surprised neither you nor Aoife do. He's on the Belbridge University Sponsorship Council. At least he used to be. He used to be a professor, way back before he started his company. I don't think he's so much as gone to the university in years, though. Things are starting to come together now. That would mean that everyone but Beth has a connection to Belbridge U in some way. Damn, maybe we are connected after all. Does someone there have a bone to pick with us or something? There's no way to know for sure, but this is a start at least. Liza, do you think you could ask your father if he knows any of us? If he was on a sponsorship council, he might know something we don't. Oh, and you should ask him if he knows the Sean Ward too. I'm on it. Also, can you tell him he's a son of a bitch for me? I never got to tell him that in person. Excuse me? You heard me. Tell your father he's a son of a bitch for me. Will ya? I paid good money to go to that school, and it all went right down the drain. Is he not qualified to be on a council? Or something? Huh? No, the guy's pretty smart actually. I read part of his thesis. It was on brain waves or something. It isn't exactly in my field, but apparently he's made some pretty significant discoveries. But embezzlement is embezzlement. Her dad's a thief. That is a filthy lie. Where did you hear that? The only thing that's filthy is your father's checking history. He's been siphoning money from the school for years. My father would never do something like that. He's a sponsor, for crying out loud. Yeah, that's what he makes it look like. And then, shut up, you're just a bitter dropout. That's got nothing to do with it. Okay, guys, as glad as I am that we're piecing things together, I don't want this conversation to come to blows. Liza, ignore this guy and go message your dad. Ray, let's start on this room's puzzle. And why would I do that? You think you're our leader or something? Do you have any better ideas on what to do right now? Yeah, I could start on the next puzzle. That's what I just said. No, you said to start on this room's puzzle. Problem being, I've already solved it. Already? When did you do that? Just now, when you guys were arguing over Ink's name. It was pretty simple, and it had a bit of a computer science focus, so I got it right away. Oh, nice. Hurry up or I'm gonna solve the next one on my own too. I'll join you, Ray. Come along, everyone. I'll catch up to you guys when I'm done messaging my father. Would you like me to wait for you? Why would I want that? You'd be wasting your time. Go on, get started. Of course. With a small bow, Beth followed Ray into the next room. Now it's probably a good time to message John. Are you there? Please let me know that you're okay. Sean? This had better not be a joke. A bead of sweat rolled down the side of Ink's head. Eva put her hands on his droopy shoulders. What's the matter? Sean isn't responding. I'm worried. There. I'm sure your friend is alright. The girl moved in for a hug. Ink offered no resistance. He's probably just busy, right? I really don't know, Eva. I don't want to think about it. I'm sorry to hear about your friend, Ink. I hope he's okay. You guys ought to message your contacts again. Make sure they're watching their backs. I can do that, yeah. I'm not entirely sure my father needs to worry about that, but I suppose there's no harm in another warning. You never know. I didn't think Sean of all people could get caught, and yet. Hey, you don't know for sure that something happened to him. Maybe you should go help Ray and Beth with the puzzle. It'll help take your mind off it. That's probably a good idea. It's not like there's anything I can do to help Sean at this point anyway. I'll come join you guys when I'm done messaging my father. Sure, but don't be too long. Okay, next room. Upon making his way to the next room, something caught Ink's eye. Oh. Huh. Why does that painting bother me so much? Ink ran his hand along the canvas, but felt only raw cotton and dried paint. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Then why does this make me so uneasy? Is it the number? 3/9? Okay. 379. Oh, 379. Okay. You've noticed it too, huh? Notice what? That huge painting with the numbers emblazoned on it? It's sort of hard to miss. Not the painting per se, but the number itself. 379. It's been showing up all over the place. Don't you think it's strange? Is it? I remember seeing it here and there, but it's more than just here and there. I've seen it on the walls, on our Gemini, and in some of the puzzle's default layouts. And there's probably more than just that. Really? I have. So whoever built this place really likes that number. It's an Easter egg or something, I don't know. You don't think it could be something more? Ink gave the girl an apathetic look. What was she getting at? You think I'm stupid, don't you? No, not at all. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from. I mean, yeah, this thing with the number 379 is a little weird. What do you think it means? I'm not sure, but someone wants us to know about that number. Who? Sent? Maybe. Either way, I know it's important. And how do you know that? I just know. Yeah, that's very suspicious. Eva straightened up, perhaps realizing that she wouldn't get through to Ink. I'm sorry, just forget it. You clearly don't care. I don't mean to be rude, but there's only one recurring number I care about right now, and it sure isn't 379. Isn't that a recurring number? Is it not a recurring number? Haven't you noticed? There's another number that keeps popping up. The number is, um, I have no clue. Is it 4? The number is 4. We've seen 4 before. You're kidding, right? It's everywhere. We're in the 4 Elements Hotel, for starters. There are 4 corners and 4 keycards. There were 4 elevators in the elevator hall, and even 4 pitchers of water in the main lounge. I could probably list some more if you pressed me. There's one big problem with all of this, though. It's because there are 5 of us, isn't it? 5 contestants in a game that seems set up for only 4. There's an extra player. You can probably guess why I haven't pointed this out until now. We just become suspicious of each other all over again. I knew you wouldn't freak out over this, which is why I told you. But try not to tell the others. I hate to revert to having to watch my back all the time. I won't bring it up, don't worry. It isn't even necessarily a bad thing. Best case scenario, Sen just added one of us at the last minute. Who do you think it is, the extra player? Who knows? It could be you, it could be me for all I know. Ink looked to the floor and sighed. Maybe I'm putting too much thought into this. I didn't mean to freak you out. Do you no longer trust the other contestants? I trust them, but I don't think we should leave anyone unattended, as a precaution. In that case, I'm going to keep Liza company a little while longer. I still need to message my father, anyway. Sound good? Sounds good, sidekick. 379. Has that appeared before? I don't know. As expected, Beth and Ray were standing in front of the monitor, attempting to solve the puzzle. Hey, you guys want a hand with that? Sure. Doesn't seem too tough, but there's no sense in turning down extra help. Okay, equalize. Great. February 17th equals March 19th. Okay, so yeah, it's not the default. 379. October 31st is the same as December 25th. How is Halloween the same at Christmas? It's an old programming joke. Well, not a programming joke specifically, but any self-respecting computer scientist will get it. Oct is short for octal, which is number notation with base 8. December is short for decimal. Okay, you know the decimal system, the base 10 number system we use every day. I know what the decimal system is. Right. Well, it just so happens that 31 in octal is equal to 25 in base 10. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I would not have gotten that. Listen, I didn't say it was a funny joke. Still, though, that has got to be the right answer. Damn. Even I could have figured that out if I had known about the octal system. Well, if you want to feel like you did something, you can go ahead and input the answer. Sure. Yeah, I would have not gotten this. Easy, we're done here. We sure seem to be tearing through these puzzles, especially the last couple. You mean I seem to be tearing through them. Don't be so vain. You yourself admitted that the last few puzzles were computer science oriented, so one would expect you would be the best at solving them. We all have our areas of expertise. Yours just so happens to be the most relevant as of right now. Right, right. We're all unique little snowflakes with our own set of skills. I'm sure you have your time to shine when we come across the knitting themed puzzle. These last few puzzles sure went to Ray's head. Oh, have you already solved it? Yeah, we just solved this one. That was pretty fast. Nice work. Good. We ought to be nearing the end of this section of exit corners soon. Any progress on your end? Has someone said something? Ink, almost positive that he had heard someone speak, looked about the room, but was only met with confused stares. He shook his head. Any progress on your end? Pardon me? What kind of progress? That was more aimed at Liza. Did you end up asking your father about any of us? Don't get me wrong, getting out of here alive is priority number one, but figuring out why we're here and who is responsible is also very important. To me, at least. I think everyone's hungry for answers. Anyway, Liza, what did your father tell you? He said he hadn't actually been giving any lectures these last few years, so that it was unlikely that he knew any students by name. Oh, damn. I wasn't finished. He said that despite that, he does know a Sean Ward. Apparently, he's pretty smart and does a lot of extracurricular work. That's Sean, alright. He actually started attending BBU a year early. I'm pretty sure he's in one of their engineering programs. I see. Anyway, he also said that the name Ray Nandon sounds vaguely familiar, but that he doesn't know what these students have in common with each other. Did you make sure to warn him? Yeah, I warned him. Don't worry. Warn him? Of what? Right, you weren't there. Something might have happened to Sean. He told me that he was being followed and now he's not getting back to me. This is the first I hear of this. I told the others to message their contacts, hoping they'd take the warning to heart. I would have told you, but I don't have my Gemini anymore. That's my bad. I should have told you regardless. Don't worry about it, Beth. It might not even be related. Hell, I got the warning, but I didn't even end up relaying it to my contact. You didn't tell her to watch her back? I haven't told her anything, like at all. Are you telling me that Tiana doesn't know that exit corners even exists? How do you know? How do you know that his contact is Tiana? Nope. And if she gets abducted too, meh, don't care. Wait a minute. The realization hit Ray like a bolt of lightning. A surge of trepidation came over Ink. Say, Eva, can I ask you something? Eva shrunk under Ray's accusatory glare. Yes? How did you know my contact's name? Didn't you tell us? I didn't tell you a goddamn thing. Nothing to say, huh? The question now is, how did you know? Would you mind telling us that, Eva? Eva whined from behind her hands. Yeah, it's not looking good. You'll be upset if I try to explain. Of course I'm gonna be upset, but I'm still going to get the answer out of you, one way or another. So go on, I'm listening. Or maybe your boyfriend over here would care to explain instead. Don't look at me, I didn't tell her anything. It was the truth. Ink hadn't the faintest idea of how Ether knew about Tiana, and getting caught in the crossfire was just about the last thing he wanted. You do have a pretty clueless look on your face. I'm trusting you on this. Now, Ether, tell me. If Ink wasn't the one to tell you, how did you know? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. How did you know, Ether? Tell me. I I want to do what you did. Huh? What are you talking about? I have an explanation, I do. I swear, but I only want to tell Ink in private. Uh, like I'm gonna let you do that. Then why don't you tell everyone what you told Ink in secret? Ray scowled. Fine, go tell him your little secret then. Wow, Ink is really just like that one friend you can tell all your stuff to. Thank you, Ray. Ink. There had better be a good explanation at the heart of this. If there isn't, you'll let me know, right? Yeah, don't worry. Ray sighed, performed an about face, and marched through the nearby door. Liza followed him, and Beth followed her. They each looked over their shoulder as they left. I wasn't lying to Ray, you know. I don't know how you could have known about Ray's contact. If you don't have a good explanation, I understand. I thought you might have been eavesdropping, but Beth and Liza had been with you the whole time. He'd have said something if he had gone back to check up on Ray and me. So, Eva, I'm asking you, how did you know about Ray's contact? How did you know about Tiana? You're not going to believe me. So long as he swears the truth, I'll believe whatever explanation you have to offer. Ink? It's okay, Eva. I trust you. I sure don't. I'll tell you then. I'll tell you everything. Okay, let's hear it. Chapter 17, 12 minutes. Okay. 12 minutes to do what? I'll tell you everything. How did you know about Ray's contact? I just knew. What do you mean I just knew? What kind of explanation is that? Ink, listen. Sometimes I know things that I shouldn't. Things I don't remember learning. Things that would be impossible for me to know. So what, you're psychic? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I don't know. I don't understand how it works. The only word I can think of to describe what I can do is clairvoyance. As silly as that sounds. The ability to gain information without the use of any of the known human senses. You sure about that? Maybe you've just got really strong intuition. Or maybe you've just seen these things before but don't remember. It's more than that. Come on, I'm sure you can remember at least a few instances today where I've been spewing facts I had no business knowing. Do you remember when I gave that lecture on ciphers? Oh, okay. Bring that up. Even small things like Liza's favorite music, or the fact that you have a sword in your room. Those aren't things I remember learning. And already skeptical Ink grew more so. I've never been told that Ray's contact was a girl named Tiana. That information was just sort of there already. Are you sure you didn't just overhear the two of us talking? I think I would have remembered that. Ugh. What am I supposed to make of this? So ridiculous, but who in their right mind would come up with an excuse like this? If she was going to lie about how she knew about Tiana, I know she could have thought of something much more believable than that. I'm not going to force you to believe me. Not even my father would. I haven't decided whether or not I believe you, yet. But if nothing else, I believe in you. I don't believe you lied to me. Not like this, at least. Maybe there's an explanation for this, but you just don't know what it is yet. Or hey, maybe you are psychic. Either way, I promise to help. I'll help you figure it out. Thanks, Ink. I'm hoping that one day I will be able to explain it. That's part of the reason why I'm in psych, actually. You know that being a psychic and studying psychology aren't the same thing, right? I figured that if all else fails, I can get a job where I can use this ability to help people. Ink gave her a small nod, as if to say, that's fair. He supposed it wasn't his place to question her on something he could scarcely understand. Still, he couldn't help but grow curious. Eva's alleged clairvoyance added to today's ever-growing list of unexplainable phenomena. Have you always been psychic? Clairvoyant? For as long as I can remember, the older I get, the more it seems to come up. And I've never learned as much as at one time as I have today. I don't know why exactly. Maybe the pressures of the exocorners are having an effect on me. What else can you tell me about this power of yours? Don't call it a power. Seriously, that's embarrassing. Ability, then. So what can you tell me? It usually doesn't interfere with my day-to-day. I'm apparently more susceptible to hypnosis than, than the average person, though I can't say that those things are related with any real certainty. I don't suppose you've been able to divine anything that could help us escape? Sort of. Some of the puzzles seem scary familiar, so I was able to figure out the answers quickly. Not every puzzle, obviously. Hmm, I see. And have you found out anything regarding why we're here? No, sorry, but I have learned a lot about you and the other contestants. Little things mostly. Like what exactly? I know about your scar, for one. Hmm. Her voice rang with melancholy. Ink put his hand over his chest, as if to shield it. Is that so? Are you sure you didn't just have a peek this morning before I woke up? You think I undressed you while you were unconscious? Come on, Ink. Okay then, what else? Do you know where it came from? I can take a guess, but only if you're comfortable with it. Well, I'm not. Ink couldn't find the confidence to maintain eye contact. He sighed. If it makes you feel any better, I think guys with scars are super hot. Okay. Heh, I guess that makes me feel a little better. Something the matter? I was, A nearby door slammed shut, Both he and Eva jolted upright, putting an end to any blossoming romance. What's taking you two so long? It's been nearly 10 minutes. How long does it take you to get an answer out of her? We got sidetracked. I thought you were going to start on the next puzzle. I am. There's just one little thing I need to take care of first. But before we get to that, I want answers. How does Amber know about my contact? Tell me how she knew, Ink. I'm not supposed to tell you, remember? Don't worry, though. There's a perfectly good. I'm tired of this shit. One of you is gonna tell me the reason outright. No more beating around the bush. Well, they've met before. What? Eva and Tiana know each other, one another. They've met on campus a few times. But how did you know she was my contact? I overheard her talking about her ex once. She mentioned he was also in computer science, but then dropped out, and that his name was Ray. That his name was Ray. You seem reluctant to talk about your contact, so eventually she put two and two together and made the assumption that it was Tiana. She never brought it up for fear of how you react, which, given your screaming just now, was justified. So there's your answer. You happy now? Next time, fucking say something. Anyway, Ether, I need your help with something. You too, Ink. Come on. Thanks for covering for me. The girl gave Ink a curt nod before moving to the next room. The room's dark colors did little to hide how barren it was. Ink's eyes were immediately drawn to the machine at the other end of the room. Its purpose eluded Ink, who had never seen anything like it. So is that all there is in here? That's right. And you know what that means. I do? Yeah. The door at the other end just leads to an empty closet. This room is a dead end. This is a corner, then. There's a keycard in here somewhere. Please be on your guard. I haven't forgotten what almost happened in the last one. I'm almost positive that this room is rigged with some sort of trap. We're trying to determine what it is before we tackle this puzzle. Any luck so far? None. There's a vent up there, so it could easily be more laughing gas, but I'm not sure Sent is a big fan of repeat traps. Fat chance we'll be able to tell what it is before we start, but maybe we won't have to. We have to at least try to prepare for it. It's not like we can avoid doing the puzzle. Chill. If there's some kind of trap, Sent usually locks the door, right? Well, he can't lock the door behind us if it never closes, which is why I'll be having Ether hold it open. Can't you just use a chair instead? If you feel like running back a few rooms and grabbing a chair, that's up to you. It's fine. I don't mind. Anyway, if we keep this door open, we could just step out if it gets dangerous. Since we're just going to be doubling back anyway, we don't need to worry about not being able to continue. Huh, that's pretty smart actually. I'm not gonna let Scent get the best of me when there's an easy workaround. Now, as for this thing, Ray moved toward the machine, examining it. Ink followed and did the same. The monitor above the machine was blank. Within the machine, beyond the solid plates of glass, was an old desktop computer, not like the one Ink had back in his dorm room. Huh. On the monitor, within was a text editor filled with what looked like computer code. This isn't even a puzzle. Not for you, it isn't. This puzzle is meant for me, just like the last few. I knew the bastard had been building up to something. What is it? I can't even tell what's going on. I've never really done any coding. I had a quick look while you and Eva were back in the other room. It's code written in an old programming language, but from what I can tell, it's incomplete. Half the functions are missing. Some of the comments in the code are instructions. It looks like something is set to happen if the code is finished and compiles successfully. So, unless one of you knows anything about computer science, I'm pretty sure that I'm the only one qualified to do this. There's only one opening on this device. It looks like it was put in place to ensure that only one of us can use the instruments inside. Yeah, that's exactly it. It also means that I'm going to have to do this one-handed. But hey, I'm up for the challenge. Hey, since this is the first real computer we've seen, Ray, think you can hack Sense Network? What the hell are you going on about? You're a programmer, right? Can't you, like, hack him? First of all, anyone with even a tiny amount of computer literacy would know how to prevent me from doing anything I'm not supposed to. Second of all, I think your concept of computer security probably stems from shitty crime dramas. I kinda hate the word hacking. Either way, what you're thinking of is most likely impossible. I see. That's far beyond me then. I wonder what will happen if when we solve this. It'll probably spit out the key card, or I don't know, something. What are the rest of us supposed to do while you're solving this? Watch and all, provide emotional support? I'm sure you'll think of something. Ray shrugged at his fellow contestants before inserting his right arm into the terminal. As soon as he did, however, the display above the machine turned red. 12 minutes. Calm down, I see it. Ether, who was still standing in the archway, had to raise her voice to be heard. What happens when the timer gets to 0? I don't want to find out. Ray, can you solve it in time? So long as nobody breaks my concentration, I ought to be fine. With a dismissive wave of his free hand, Ray leaned into the machine and began typing away. Can I help somehow? No, you can't. Yeah, let's not disturb Ray. Let's ask Beth. I wish I could help Ray, but I can't understand a single thing he's doing. He's working so fast I can scarcely read what's on the screen. Yeah, even with one hand, he's typing mega fast. He's taking this seriously. As he should. There's no telling what will happen if the timer reaches 0. I can't help but imagine the worst. Okay, Liza, anything to say? Ink, come here for a minute. What is it? What if he doesn't solve it before time runs out? Does he die? Do we all die? If he fails, can the rest of us still proceed? You know what I don't? You know, you, you know that I don't know the answer to any of those questions. All we can do right now is put our faith in Ray. You know, I never thought I'd say this, but I can't watch this. It's making me too nervous. Do you trust Ray? I do. I mean, I trust him with this, at least. He seems to know what he's doing. I think he'll come through. If anyone can solve this, it's him. Yeah. Still talk to Liza? Doesn't that worry you at all? Huh? Doesn't what worry me? The fact that only Ray can solve this. It's meant for him and only him. What's sense go here? I don't know, Liza. Maybe it's some sort of test? A test where if he fails we all die? That hardly seems fair. I don't like it either, but it doesn't look like we can do anything right now. We all ought to be careful. Come on, Ray. The timer's getting low. What do you think will happen when it reaches 0? If it reaches 0. I still have faith that Ray will solve this puzzle in time. That was a poor choice of words. I'm just curious as to what will happen when it goes all the way down. Do you think it will kill all of us or just Ray? You're presuming it kills any of us at all. It could be harmless. You're being awfully pessimistic right now, Ink. Sorry. I guess I'm just nervous watching him. As is everyone else. You just need to be patient and stay calm. I know, I know. I mean, we can't really do much besides talk to people. It's all in Ray's hands now. Be patient, Ink. I mean, I guess we have to click on Ink, right? We can't really talk to Beth more. Damn, I've never seen Ray so focused. His hand is moving a mile a minute. He said not to bother him, so I won't. I just hope he can solve it in time. I can't help but feel helpless watching from the sidelines like this. If I had even a little programming knowledge, I'd offer to help, but ugh, I can barely stand to watch. Everything's riding on this. Wait a sec. He's slowing down all of a sudden. Does this mean he's close to solving it? Or did he hit a snag? Got it. There we go. It ought to compile after I make a few small changes. You've solved it? Yeah. How much time is left on the clock? Just over 4 minutes. Heh, told you I was good at this. Ray triumphantly slammed his fingers on a set of computer keys from within the machine. And? Compiling, no errors so far. So, you've solved it. Most likely. Once this thing compiles it, it ought to do something. Not sure what though. This is only a small snippet of code taken from something much larger. Any idea what it could be? Whatever it is, it's hella complicated. Ah, there we go. Compiled and executing. Ink's eyes were glued to the monitor. It's shown in bright white before abrupting cutting to sent. I've already solved the puzzle. Go away. Yes, yes, I know. You are a great programmer, etc. But just as you've passed your test, so too have I passed mine. What the hell are you talking about? Why, the Turing test, of course. You're not fooling anyone, Sent. Get out of here. What's the matter, Ray? I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but Sent over here is trying to convince us that he's an AI. Don't listen to him. An AI? Is that even possible? Oh, but I'm not just any AI, my dear. I am, in fact, the world's first sentient artificial intelligence. Um, what? It's hard to believe, I know. I will repeat myself. I am the world's first sentient AI. You can call me Sent, for sure. Oh, okay, I get it. Sentient, okay. Artificial. Is that even possible? And why would you just tell us this out of the blue? Don't anyone believe a word he says. He's just making things up. How would that even be possible? An AI is just data, right? You couldn't physically do anything, much less kidnap 5 people or build a hotel. Need I remind you? I haven't built anything, haven't touched anything, really. All I do is think, design. Labor is cheap, remember? Nice try, but you forgot you've got someone who actually knows what they're talking about in the audience. You're no AI, you're too smart, too responsive. Nobody's developed language processing that advanced either. It just ain't possible. Why, thank you, Ray. I'm happy to be deemed smart by a programmer of your caliber. I am still an AI, however, regardless of what you believe. Yeah, well, that flat out contradicts some of your behavior. Remember when Ink tricked you back in that cavern? He did so by exploiting your human nature. I'm a unique case, you see. My reactions are part and parcel of my special brand of sentience. Unfortunately, I don't think either of us have the time for me to proverbi- ugh, proverbially sit down and lecture you about what makes me so special. Unless you think there'd be some other simpler way to convince you? Nothing short of seeing your source code will convince me that you're actually an AI. But you have seen my source code moments ago. Those were just some those were just some out of bounds prevention checks for a nah, there's no way. It all makes sense now, doesn't it? I still don't believe you. If you wanted to convince me that you were an AI, you would have shown me your entire code base. You've done a ton of lying today, Sen. I don't see why I should believe you now. Well, that's true. I have only ever fed you lies because I wanted you to believe in them. If I were lying to you right now, I would be doing so with the knowledge that you would not believe me, and I'm afraid that's just not how I operate. So paradoxically, I must be telling the truth. Do you follow? Well then, how the fuck do you react so quickly? How can you understand speech so clearly? And why would you tell me this at complete random? Too many things don't add up, Sen. I could explain it, I suppose, but I want the mystery of exactly how and why I function to haunt you until your last breath. Which, incidentally, will be very soon. Ray, he's trying to stall. Look! Shit, the timer never stopped. We need to leave immediately. I don't want any of us to be in this room when it reaches zero. Agreed. We can come back and look for the keycard once the danger has passed. Everyone exchanged an understanding nod and ran toward the door. Everyone except Ray. Ray, come on, you need to leave. Is his arm stuck? I can't. What? My arm is stuck in this fucking thing. Ray tugged at his arm, but neither he nor the machine seemed to move at all. He tried again, this time more viciously, and succeeded only in bouncing back and smashing his head off of the machine. Seth must have tightened this thing while we were talking. Let me go, you son of a bitch. Ray continued to pull at his arm, but it was useless. Ink and the other contestants stared at the scene from the doorway. Don't just stand there. Somebody help me. Right. Ink was the first to his side. Grabbing Ray's right arm, he kicked off the machine in an attempt to use his legs to pry Ray out. Even with all of Ink's added might, though, Ray couldn't manage to pull free. Ugh, it really is stuck. Is there a disengaged mechanism hidden somewhere? If there was such a thing, we have found it already. Sen would be hard pressed to hide anything in a room as empty as this one. Maybe if we had something we could use as lubricant, we could squeeze his arm out. But even then, Ink glanced at the timer just in time to see it transition from 3 digits to 2. He heard a loud snap as metal clashed against metal from within the machine. We're almost out of time. Fuck, let me go, Sent. Sent's sterile laugh echoed from somewhere other than the monitor. No, I don't think I will. I acknowledge that you're an AI, okay? Is that what you wanted? I only want one thing, Ray. What? What do you want me to do, huh? I'm going to use your own words to ensure that I am. I'm going to use your own words to ensure that I am understood. How did you phrase it? Ah, yes. The room went silent as Sam played a recording of Ray's voice back to him. You better fucking hope I never find you. Or I swear to Christ, I'm gonna put so much hurt on you, you'll wish you were fucking dead. No, please. Fuck, let me go, let me go. Ray's voice grew shrill. While Sam's face was hidden from view, Ink was sure he was smiling. Someone, do something. I don't know what to do. Anything, get me out of here. Ray continued to try to pull his arm free, his subsequent attempts no more successful than any that had come before it. Ink looked at the timer again and nearly fainted at the spot. Only 12 seconds remained. The contestants looked at Ray with silent stares, their faces fraught with fear. They were out of time. All Ray could do was look back at them. 5, 4. Please close your eyes. 2, 1. Ray's scream lasted only a moment. Whatever was happening to him drove all the air from his lungs. Ray's eyes rolled into his head, and lifeless white things took their place. Ink watched the color drain from his friend's face, turning his skin a sickly gray. His limbs went haywire, flailing about in a spasmodic fit, smashing into machine and into himself. His mouth was stretched open. If Ray had any breath left in him, Ink imagined he'd still be screaming. After 10 long seconds, it stopped. The air reeked of burnt rubber and another stench that Ink couldn't place. Ray crumpled into a seemingly lifeless heap. The machine still hadn't released its hold on him. Ray! Ray, say something! The man offered no response. The other 4 contestants all ran up to him, but Beth was the only one to touch him. She leaned forward and put her hand on Ray's neck. He's alive. Is he unconscious? Ray, can you hear me? There was some movement in Ray's left arm, but only just. He tried to lift his head up, but didn't have the strength. Ray, what happened? What did he do to you? Ray spoke, his voice barely a whisper. Don't know. Ugh. Ray vomited all over the front of the machine, the floor, and himself. Eva turned away, gasping, but the remaining contestants all watched in morbid wonder. Ink wondered if there was something wrong with him for not at least closing his eyes. Ray hadn't eaten anything today. Nobody had. But that didn't stop him from retching up what seemed like whole pints of bloody matter. By the time it had stopped, Ray was marinating in it. The sight almost made Ink throw up himself, but he continued to stare all the same. Hurts. Is most of the pain in your arm? Ray spoke again, almost inaudible. Ink could only hear the tail end of his sentence. Feels like it's on fire. I hate to interrupt, but isn't there something else that might warrant your attention? Ink looked about, unsure of what Sam meant. Then he saw them. On the floor, to the left of the machine, was a red key card with the yellow corner. Huh. Inches away from the card, closer to Ray, was a small container of pills. The label had been torn clean off. The key card and some pills? Indeed, that isn't what I was referring to, however. Ink did a double take, and only then did he realize that the timer had reset itself to 12 minutes and had resumed counting down. What? Wonderful, isn't it? I think it's time for an encore. Again? You've already almost killed him. Kill him? Don't be silly. This machine isn't designed to kill. Every 12 minutes, Ray, I sentence you to pain. This will continue for what little remains of your life. Or you could die. We'll say you to that, Ray. Ray was crying. For once, Liza had nothing to say. This is torture. Since the synthetic laugh continued to ring from the rafters. I will be mindful of the things you say around me, Eva. Is there anything I could do to get him out of there? Please. Can't you see he's in pain? Can't you see he's in pain? Interesting words coming from you, Liza. Sen, please stop this. We're all begging you. The only person who can ease Ray's pain is Ray himself. The capsules on the floor contain potassium cyanide. For best results, crush one between your molars before swallowing. You mean the pills next to the key card? The very same. Are they an anesthetic? No. Ink. Potassium cyanide is lethal if ingested. Scent means to kill him. No, I intend for him to kill himself. There is an important distinction. So there is. Ink. Liza. Keep Ray alive. And Eve. Yes? You're coming with me. And so they did. Following their exit, Scent would herald his own. I suppose I'm out of exposition, not to watch the magic unfold. With 10.5 minutes left on the timer, Scent went quiet. Fuck, where the hell did Beth run off to at a time like this? I mean, is she gonna amputate his arm? I don't know. I think that's like the only solution. Ink started for the door as a weak voice called out to him. Don't. Please, don't leave. I'm sorry, I won't leave. A horror-struck Liza crept into view. She bore a sad expression, save for her eyes, which were filled with rage. What do we do, Ink? Ray managed to sound a forced laugh, but would quickly turn into coughing. I bet you think this is hilarious, huh, Liza? I guess this is karma for being such a... for being such an asshole. Nobody deserves this, Ray, not even you. Especially not you. Sure, you can be a dick sometimes, but you aren't a bad person. Not really. The broken man hung his head low. Not that he could lift it very high. You don't know me, Liza. I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of. I almost... Whatever you did, it doesn't mean you deserve this. Nobody has a clean slate, Ray. Nobody. There's something I want to tell you, Ink, if you give us a moment. It's, private. Of course. Ink turned away as Liza knelt down next to Ray and whispered something in his ear. It wasn't an especially long message. I knew I was right. Of course you wouldn't have told me that if I wasn't about to die. You're not going to die. I just wanted you to know. You understand, right? I should have figured you'd have known. You're a smart kid. You're just proud, that's all. Is that a bad thing? No. You're a Thatcher. You've got reason to be proud. To be honest, I'm kinda jealous. I'm just a smuck who made some bad decision and missed the boat on being famous. I screwed up pretty badly. Ray coughed some more, spurting even more blood onto the floor. Now I'm gonna die, having missed out on RN. Having missed out on a lot of things, actually. You're not going to die, Ray. We'll find a way to get you out of there. Don't kid yourself. I'm fucked. Sniffling loudly, Ray wiped his wet, snot and blood-covered face on his sleeve. What does the timer say? Just over 6 minutes. It's about time, then. There's no fucking way I'm going to go through that again. What? Where did the pills go? They were right here. I have them. Liza flashed them the container before throwing it into her bag. She must have taken them when she was whispering to him. Smart. Give them here, quickly. Ray lunged toward her with an outstretched arm, but Liza was well out of his reach. She didn't move an inch. Why are you doing this? Please. Just give them to me. Only if there's no other way. I'm not going to let you kill yourself. You don't understand how much it hurts. This thing. But this is what Scent wants. He planned for this. I don't give a shit anymore. He wins. I give up. Now please, Ink. Tell Liza to give me the fucking pills. Sorry, Ray. I'm with her. I'm not going to have you die on us. No, you don't fucking get it. I want to die, you hear me? Baring his teeth in pain, Ray madly pulled out his arm, as if to tear it off. Ink, let's have a look around the room again. Maybe we missed something. Don't just ignore me. I swear to God, I'll bite off my own tongue if that's what it takes. You'll do no such thing. Ooh. Beth, looking kinda badass, not gonna lie. Standing in the doorway was Beth. Eva poked her head out meekly from behind her. Beth carried with her the sword from beyond the green door. Except it wasn't a real sword at all. It simply looked like one. What are you doing with that, Beth? Be quiet. We've got less than 2 minutes before this machine goes off again. Ink, give me your scarf. Ink obeyed. He didn't know why Beth needed his scarf, but ultimately he trusted her. Eva fumbled with her back pocket and pulled out what looked like a broken chair leg. Beth fastened the two together in a manner that Ink had never seen before. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, Beth? Please be still. Don't touch me. Is that his? Why does he look like a child in this? I don't think it'll be feasible to break it first, given our constraints. I'm going to try and go through it in one swing. No, no, I am not okay with this. This is the only way we're going to get you out of here. You can't just hack my arm off like that. And here I thought you hated that word. That's a good one, Beth. Ray swatted at Beth meekly with his free hand, but she didn't so much as flinch. Okay, yeah, I think, yeah, Beth is my favorite character now. Yeah. You need to let me do this, Ray. I'm not letting you turn me into a fucking cripple. A cripple or a corpse, it's up to you. Ray had no answer. Ian glanced up at the timer again. Less than a minute remained on the clock. So that I guess that puzzle all the way back was like with like no arm was like hinting at what's gonna happen to Ray. That was kind of cool. Beth, that isn't a real sword. It's not going to work. Ink opened his mouth to speak, but no words could come out. Oh God. I'm not going to force you to go through with it, but this is the only avenue left to you. You need to decide, Ray. Now. Wow. That's out. This was a really spicy chapter. Okay. So yeah, I'm excited to find out what happens next. Please hit like and subscribe if you want to see what happens. Really, really like yeah, I'm probably gonna play this like right after. But yeah, please hit like and subscribe if you want to see more uploaded soon. And I'll see you guys next time.